Hey there, everyone. Welcome to the Night Sky This Week show. I'm Andrew Fazakis, the Night Sky Guy. I hope you all had a great weekend. Thanks for spending a few moments of your time with me as we explore the night sky, your night sky, wherever you are around the world. I've got the chat room open, watching all of you guys tuning in as you do every week. We're here at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. That is 1500 Universal Time, I believe. And we are here to talk about, of course, what else? All about the night sky, what it has to offer. I see folks from Taiwan, from the USA, where we've got people from Minneapolis, Teresa from Minneapolis, Marcia from North Carolina. We've got folks in Christian from Luxembourg, Christelle from Marseille. Bonjour, Christelle from France. Very nice of you to join us. I hope you are all having great skies wherever you guys are. Of course, we've got our fellow stargazing friends in our community out on the west coast of North America that's really struggling with really poor quality sky conditions because of all the forest fires up and down the west coast from California, Oregon, in northern northwest Pacific US. My heart goes out to all of you watching from the west coast. I know it's been a great struggle. I hope you are staying safe and healthy through these times, and clear skies will come again, I assure you. All our brave firefighters working out west are doing their best to really dampen down these fires and beat them back. We're hoping all the best wishes for them, of course. And hello again for Sharon from Alberta, Canada, Lorraine from Toronto, Susan from the Netherlands, Joseph from Hungary, Napot Joseph, great for a fellow Hungarian to join in. It's fantastic to see everyone around the world. It's great. Did you guys get to do any stargazing this weekend? Did you have some clear skies? There's just some beautiful stargazing. Here, I'm in Montreal, Canada. So I'm in the northeastern part of North America, very close to the border with New York and Vermont, where the United States is, but I'm in Canada. And it's been really beautiful, the skies here, clear skies. And I'm looking at the forecast for myself. I've got clear stretch of skies coming up for this week. I'm really excited to be able to do some stargazing, looking at the heavens, definitely. So this is something, I'm hoping I can share with you some cool stuff. So let's get right into it. I'm going to share with you the night sky, at least virtually, and I'll show you some things that you maybe want to put on your calendar for this week. Now, remember, things that I share here every week, a lot of the stuff you can see with the naked eye. A lot of you, I know, don't necessarily have telescopes or binoculars, and that's okay. There's still a lot of things you could see without any equipment. You don't really need that much. But if you have binoculars and telescopes, well, we could dive in a little bit more and see some more interesting things. Just focus in with magnification and some cool things as well. So let's get going. So here we go. We've got, hello. I'm glad you're here, Cynthia. That's fantastic. I'm glad to see you there as well. Here we go into Sky Safari. This is the program that I'm using. Let me see. That's if I can get it up and running. Let's see. It's not cooperating. Always something happening. Let's see if I can get it going. There we go. All right. So this is the setup for Monday. We're September 21st. So if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, hello, everyone. And if you're watching this archived sometime during the week of September 21st, there's a lot of stuff to see. So let's get going. So on September 21st, today, which is where I'm recording Monday evening, just after sunset. So I'm talking about 20 minutes, 30 minutes after your local sunset tonight, you want to be looking towards where the sun sets, because there's something really cool that you could see. Now, a great guidepost will be the moon. You'll see a waxing crescent moon. That's what you're seeing here, beautifully represented here. I'll zoom in. You can see that beautiful crescent moon. And what you'll notice just to the left of the crescent moon will be a bright star. That star is called Antares. And Antares is the brightest star in the constellation Scorpius, I should say. So Scorpius is a zodiacal constellation. Maybe it's your sign, horoscope sign. And this is where the moon is going to be positioned next to. And this is for September 21st. So it's a very, very cool, beautiful pairing, easy to see with the naked eye. Even if you don't have fantastic sky conditions, you're stuck in the city, this is a really good pairing. And it's cool to think that the star Antares, this star here, this star is over 550 light years away. Imagine that, 550 light years away. It's amazing. And that's how long the light takes to reach your eye. And if it gets a little bit darker, if I show this maybe an hour after your local sunset, what you'll notice is there's the horoscope sign. You can see the constellation, the mythological figure of the scorpion, this giant arachnid. So it's really cool. And here we go. We got already comments from Teresa saying, hello, Andrew, I saw the moon last night and see the whole moon, but it's too cloudy to see most anything else. That's right. Sometimes the moon is the major object that you can see at night. Shelley saying, very excited. I found Andromeda Galaxy for the first time last night using your Pegasus Square and Andromeda Constellation guidance. Thank you. You're welcome, Shelley. Definitely, Andromeda Galaxy is coming up. If you didn't see it, check out my last week's video. I'll put a link in the comments section. If you missed that from last week, you can see the Andromeda Galaxy and find it yourself. I'll give a link to that so you can take a look at it for yourself. So this is something very easy to see, Andromeda Galaxy, even in suburban skies. It looks like a little fuzzy patch, this galaxy, 2.6 million light years away. Can you imagine? Million. Incredible. So getting back to tonight. So what you're going to be seeing is the moon. I'll go back to sunset, and so that's the moon. So you've got this really amazing view of the moon. But if we sort of head back towards the due west area where the sun sets, you can see the glow of the sunset here set up for us. So this is about 15-20 minutes after your local sunset. What you'll notice is a beautiful pairing. Okay, so there's a beautiful pairing of two objects. One is a planet, and one is a brilliant star. And the two will look very different from each other, not because that one is just more brilliant than the other one, but because of the color difference as well. So check this out. So hello from Cosmos from Greece. Betsy is also watching, mentioning that you're looking forward to the blue moon on October 31st, Halloween. Yes, we'll be talking more about that for Halloween. Exactly. We're a little more than a month away from that. But check this out. You're seeing Mercury and Spica. So this is, again, September 21st, Monday evening. But this is something that you can see later in the week, and I'll go forward in time so you'll see day by day. But what you're seeing is this beautiful pairing. This is going to be a bit of a challenge because of the glow from the sunset. So I just want you guys to be aware that when you're looking at things near the sunset, or say just before sunrise, that glow of the sun just below the horizon can really block out a lot of stellar objects and planetary objects. And in this case, we're talking about Mercury and a star called Spica. And these two will be close. It'll be a beautiful pairing of these two star-like objects. And this is something that will be very easy to see in telescopes. If you have a small telescope, no problem. With binoculars, it will be a bit of a challenge, but I put this out to you guys, is trying to find Spica and Mercury. And what's amazing to think about, right, is when you're looking at Mercury, Mercury is a planet, of course, innermost planet, the planet closest to the sun. a neighboring planet to us. It's 170 million kilometers away from us right now. So just think of that, 170 million kilometers away. And it takes light almost 9.5 minutes to reach your eye from Mercury. Now that's Mercury. But if we look at Spica, the star Spica is 250 light years away. So when you're looking at that star and planet close together, is a vast difference between the two. Again, I've mentioned this before. It's all about perspective, right? So you've got, say, if if I make my fists, for instance, the planet and the star, Mercury is very close to you as the observer that you are on Earth, and then of course Spica is 250 light years away. It's much farther. I mean, it's many orders of magnitude farther away. But yet from your line of sight, right? From your line of sight, they look close together. But yet, of course, they're much farther apart, right? They're actually far apart. But from your line of sight, they look close together. And that's what's happening when you're looking at this pairing of Spica and Mercury. But it's a beautiful sight. It's something that's it's really cool to see. With binoculars, you will be able to find it low. Scan the sky just around where the sun sets, about 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes after your local sunset. Start looking for it, and then maybe up to like a half hour, 45 minutes in there. But it'll be very low to the horizon, right? And depending on where you are on Earth, it could be even closer to the horizon. This is again set for about where somewhere between like Montreal, Toronto, New York City, that kind of latitude on Earth. And if wherever you are, it may be at a different angle to this and could be more challenging. But this is something that you should try. I'll post a sky chart for this, definitely. So that's something that you should see. What else is there? Well, if we go back to the moon, and I'm going to darken the sky a bit. So once your local sky conditions allow, we're going to look at the moon. I'm going to make it nice and small like that. And what you're going to see is some of these stars that are around the moon. And what will be interesting is that some of these stars, like this one here particularly, if we look at that, let me see if I can get some information on that. There we go. This is actually a double star. So if we look at it up close, look at it. This is what you would see through a small telescope. You can see that the name is Graphios, but it's also called Beta Scorpio. So it's the second brightest star in the constellation Scorpius. So Beta Scorpii, I should say, is actually a double star, meaning there's two stars close together. To the naked eye, it looks like one star. But the other star is a fainter one, which you need maybe a little pair of binoculars to be able to see, or telescope definitely is what will allow you to see that. Now, what's interesting is that the moon will be very close to it tonight, Monday, September 21st. So it's a wonderful pairing of the moon. And in fact, for those of you that are in North America, especially the western parts of North America, Midwest North America, you will see the moon occult this pair of star, Graphios, this pair here. So the moon will go in front of this as the night progresses. So especially those of you that are in the West Coast will be able to see that happen. So you can see here, again, on the East Coast of North America, you won't be able to see it because it'll be very close to the horizon, as you could see here. If I go one more hour, it's already below my horizon. But those of you that are out on the western part of the continent of North America, this is and the middle of North America and sometimes in the central parts of the United States and Canada, this is something that you can look forward to and see actually the moon get super close and even occult it, meaning eclipse this pairing of stars. So that's something you can look forward to. Again, September 21st, late night, using the moon as a guidepost. Get your telescope out and you'll be able to see it with a pair of binoculars. Easy to see this. It'll look more like a singular star. You won't be able to separate Graphios into two stars, but you'll see it as one, but it'll be being eclipsed by the moon. And that eclipse lasts for a better part of an hour before it reappears on the bright side of the moon. So this is it. They hide on the unlit portion of the disk of the moon and then reappear on the other after about almost an hour. So this is something you can look forward to. I will post a sky chart again on this on my timeline. So those of you who are on Facebook watching, you'll see it on my timeline. Definitely, I'll post the sky chart. And if you haven't yet followed me, make sure you follow the Night Sky Guy Facebook page because you will get all these sky charts on my timeline. And so if you follow it, it'll pop up and you'll be notified. And make sure you hit that notification as well, so you do get notified when I do post all these things. It makes it a lot easier for you to find these events as well. So it's a telescopic double. Star Graphios is, which is also known, like I said, as Beta Scorpii, and that is going to be a beautiful lunar occultation that's happening a Monday evening. So that's what's in store for on Monday. And I see all of you asking this question, that East Coast, will they see it? Well, Pam, this particular one will be difficult to see the actual eclipsing of the stars, but you'll see it super close to the moon on the East Coast of North America. It'll make a beautiful pairing. Remember, this is in the constellation Scorpius, where all this action is happening, and it's in the southwest sky. Just look for the moon and then look for that star just off on the unlit portion of the moon. So as you can see, I'll zoom in again and you can see it. There's Graphios, that's blinking right there, and the moon. And that's the moon will just cover these stars for those on the west. If you're on the east, you'll still see it very, very close. So we also have here, Dezinch says, watching from New Mexico, love your live Sky Guy. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I hope you do find it useful, giving some tidbits on what you can see in the night sky. Everyone can see something. You don't need to be a super into the hobby to really find things. Just being able to be outside for 10, 15 minutes, you'll be able to locate a lot of that. And the moon is a great guidepost. I love using the moon to find things because the moon is, of course, something easy. We can all find the moon during most of the month. So something cool to look forward to. So that's tonight. So now we move on to Tuesday. So if we flip this to Tuesday night, September 22nd, you will notice if I zoom out, oh my gosh, I've got so many deep sky objects here. I'm just going to pop those off and show you how the moon and what's nice is going to be near Antares. So if I move this to a little bit earlier, so like an hour earlier, when it's dark, fairly dark where you are, I want you to notice the moon is going to be near Antares. So this is a beautiful pairing. I'm just going to magnify the moon so it's easier for you guys to see what I'm talking about. There you go. So here you can see the moon is going to be near Antares. Remember, Antares is the lead star in the constellation Scorpius. So you can see the theme here for this week. The moon is kind of gliding early in this week by the Scorpius constellation. And so Antares is really easy to track down because of the moon hanging around near it. So in this case, on Tuesday evening, the moon is going to be to the left, upper left of this brilliant orange star. And just imagine that 550 light years away, Antares is one of the brightest stars, despite being so far away. It is a red giant star. So that's really cool to see the moon so close to this beautiful, elegant star in the southwest. Now, at the same time, you'll notice to the far left of the moon, in the southern part of the sky, are our friends, those gas giant planets, Jupiter and Saturn. Still, they pin down the south. They dominate the evening skies. And I have to tell you, watching Jupiter is something really cool. It's something that you need to be able to do at one point in your life. You have to watch Jupiter. And right now, Jupiter is still super bright. And on Tuesday night, not tonight, but Tuesday night, September 22nd, what's cool is if we zoom in on Jupiter, and I'll do that right here so you get to see what will be very cool. Let me see if I can center it. Hold on. I'll center it, and then I'll move an hour later, and here we go. So around 9 between around 9 and 9:30, if you have a small telescope, this is what you're going to see, is the disk of Jupiter. Beautiful disk. Remember, Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system. Over 1,200, maybe even up to 1,300, I think is actually the number. Up to 1,300 Earths could fit inside of Jupiter. So this is going to be really special because you'll see the Great Red Spot. Have you ever heard of the Great Red Spot? It's not a very romantic name for something really incredible, I think. And that is this spot right here. You can see it, and I have my mouse moving around it. I'll zoom in more so you can see more easily. This, in fact, is a giant hurricane. It's the largest, longest lived hurricane that we know of in the universe. There might be other ones, but in our corner of the universe, at least what we can see, this is a cyclone. It's a giant storm that's been raging on the planet for at least 200-300 years. And this is something that is visible through small backyard telescopes when you know when to look for it. Now, Jupiter actually rotates. You can see I'm rotating it here back and forth once around on its axis, once every 12 hours or so. So a day on Jupiter, you would be about half of what we have here. Ours is, of course, 24 hours, but there it's about 12 hours. And so if you time it just right, you can see the Great Red Spot facing towards the Earth. And so you can actually see it. And that's what you're seeing here is the red spot is exactly facing us between 9 and 9:30 Eastern time. Okay, so this is Eastern time in North America. So you can do your conversion to your time zone. That is when the Great Red Spot is facing us. Now just think of it. This Great Red Spot is so big that 2 of our planet, Earths, could fit easily inside this storm that's been raging for 200-300 years. It's incredible. And so, and the winds are incredible too, at 800 plus kilometers per hour. So, so this is really something that's really cool to see. I'm looking at the chats. Winds of a hurricane. Yeah, Tammy, exactly. But this is 800 plus kilometers per hour. So much more powerful than any hurricane that we have. And even the ones we're seeing, the Atlantic Ocean is filled with, I think, 5 storms. We're going to be heading towards a record Atlantic hurricane season. We've used up all the named storms already. You might have heard from meteorologists. We were in the last one, W, just this past week, and we're already, I think, we're using the Greek alphabet, and we've used up Alpha. We're already on Beta, naming the storms, and they last for maybe upwards of a week here, 7 days or so for a storm in the Atlantic. But this one on Jupiter, just think about it. Almost 300 years we've been seeing this storm. So this is really impressive, something really impressive to see. So that's what waits you Tuesday night between 9 and 9:30. Try, if you have a small telescope, zoom in, use a high magnification eyepiece if you have one, and then watch for that little faint pink oval. It looked like a faint pink oval inside this dark band, and you'll notice it has this brown band. These are all clouds on Jupiter. These bands are all made of clouds. You can't see any surface on Jupiter. It's just that's why we call it a gas giant. It's mostly gas. And this is a storm that's raging in the upper atmosphere called the Great Red Spot. And you can find that through a small backyard telescope. Real easy. It's a perfect time, Tuesday, September 22nd, between 9 and 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. I'll put a chart. I'll put this notice also on my timeline so you won't forget about that. So that's Tuesday. Really fun seeing the Great Red Spot. And then we move on to Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And here is really something also beautiful because we've got our friend, of course, the moon, that's way out here towards the right on Tuesday. But if we hop over as the days go on, Wednesday night, you can see here, and then Thursday night, okay, so Thursday, September 24th, this is what we will see. The moon will be lining up with Saturn and Jupiter. Beautiful sight. This is going to really knock your eyes out because you'll see these super bright stars next to the moon. And remember, when we're looking at this, guys, it's so cool because you've got this lineup of three objects, three of the brightest night sky objects, all in a line for you. And, if you're new to stargazing, new to watching the sky, this is a great opportunity to really find these otherwise really, sometimes, tricky things to see. And if you're new to a telescope or binoculars, you're just trying to orient yourself around the sky. Again, here, the moon is really a wonderful guidepost. Also, this is a great photo opportunity. So I'd love to see you guys take photographs if you can, if you have a DSLR camera, or perhaps you have just a smartphone. I'd love to see you guys snap a picture. Try to frame your picture with some foreground objects. So as you can see in these images I've got in this planetary programs, you see trees and the ground and the bottom of the on the bottom of the views here. That's what you want to do. You want to frame it with something in the foreground, so it gives it a really wonderful perspective. This really enriches photography, and this is something you could try doing using your smartphone. I'd love to see what you can do. Give it a whirl. You have nothing to lose. It's a lot of fun, and you may be really surprised at what kind of photography you can do just with a smartphone. So that's on Thursday night. And check this out. If I go into Friday night, boom, look at that. The moon is underneath Saturn, pairing up with the Lord of the Rings, I like to call it. A beautiful sight. It's a waxing gibbous moon by Friday. It's just fantastic. And then by Saturday, the moon is in the constellation Capricornus, that sea goat. Weird animals and mythological constellations, but Capricornus, that's where the moon is. And look, it's a beautiful kind of crooked alignment, but nevertheless a beautiful alignment between the moon, Saturn, and Jupiter. Now, there's one more thing I wanted to also share. For those of you that are watching from the southern hemisphere, I never forget about you guys. So this week, take a look at this. And this is something that those of us even in the northern hemisphere can participate. Another observing challenge for everyone out there. If you are in the southern hemisphere, you will look at night when darkness falls. So if you're in Australia or South Africa or in the South Pacific somewhere, in southern part of the continent of South America somewhere, and you look up, straight up at around after darkness falls in your local evening, and you look straight up almost, you'll see a brilliant star. And that star is called Fomalhaut. Fomalhaut is a brilliant star. It's the 18th brightest star in the sky. And it's in a small, indescript constellation called Pisces Australis, the southern fish. And it's one of the brightest stars. You can't miss it. And it dominates around this time of the year, mid-September to mid-October, and it's right above and overhead. That's the dominant star right now, Fomalhaut, that you can see. Now, for those of us that are in the northern hemisphere, we can see that same star at the same time as our friends in the southern hemisphere, and you'll see it just to the lower left of the moon. So for those of us that are in mid-northern latitudes, like say London, Rome, Toronto, Vancouver, that kind of latitude, you'll see it low in the southeastern horizon. You can see it right here in this fishy constellation that's near the horizon. And just think, of course, the Earth is round. Our friends those of you that are in the southern hemisphere are seeing that same star, but straight up in your heavens above, almost at what we call the zenith, straight overhead, Fomalhaut is. And Fomalhaut is a fairly nearby star. It's about 25 light years away, guys. 25 light. So that's why it shines so brilliantly. A beautiful This is a beautiful photograph of Fomalhaut. You can see it shines like a beautiful gemstone. Just a fantastic, beautiful star. And that is, let's see if we can get out there. There we go. But that is the star that is in the low southeast sky after darkness fall, mid-evening. So around 9 p.m., 10 p.m. local time, wherever you are in the northern hemisphere, that's where it'll be hanging out low there. But those of you in the southern hemisphere, it will be quite high. Whereas Christian is asking, Thursday 24th, Io will be in front of Jupiter. We'll be able to see that through binoculars. That's a really good question. I think it will be difficult to see that. You would need a small telescope, but you don't need too much of a telescope. So what Christian is referring to is one of the moons of Jupiter actually appearing to move in front of the disk of Jupiter. And these events do happen fairly regularly, and it's something that a backyard telescope can look at, seeing the eclipses. Jupiter basically plays hide and seek with the main moons, the four main moons, Io, Callisto, Ganymede, and Europa. And you can see them go behind Jupiter or go in front of Jupiter, even casting a shadow on the clouds of Jupiter. So we'll talk about that too. That happens fairly regularly. And I'm glad that Christian brought that up, because we'll talk about that in future shows as well. So with that, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys learned a few things out there. There's a lot of really cool stuff, as you can see, in the night sky. If you're interested in pursuing and learning more about the night sky, don't forget about my book, Backyard Guide to Night Sky. You can see it right here next to me. It's available wherever books are sold online. It's published by National Geographic, and I've packed it filled with all the little tips and tricks that I've learned through many years of stargazing, also teaching stargazing to countless people, from little 4-year-olds to senior citizens and everyone in between. I've taught this, and it's just so much fun to see people really getting engaged in the night sky, which is our heritage throughout the world. It doesn't matter where you are, where you're located. The sky belongs to all of us, and it's part of nature, and you should avail yourself to it, especially under such crazy times that we live in. It's a nice thing to kind of be serene and calm, bring at least a few moments of calmness in your life, some way to de-stress by looking up at the sky. So I hope I've shown a few things. All of you guys, like Susan, Philip, Enrique, Marcia, all of you guys, Alma, thank you so much for joining me. Every week, it really is my pleasure to bring this to you. And I'm so happy that you guys are excited about this every week, and I hope you stay in healthy. Make sure, if you haven't subscribed, do subscribe to my channel on YouTube, on Facebook. Follow me so you get notified of all the latest things that are happening in the sky and space news. And make sure you leave me a comment below. And if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and share it with your friends and network. Please do help spread the word of the night sky. It means a lot. So thanks, and of course we will see you all next week, same time, same place. Until the next video, I wish all of you clear skies. Bye-bye.